The one moment I'm looking forward to most is when Tyler sees me for the very first time, just making that eye contact, that connection, like, wow, this is happening, I'm gonna be with you forever, and I love you more than anything.
It's the best day of my life, and I know that it will be. Seeing her walk down the aisle, it's going to be everything that you would hope for, and with friends and family, it'll be perfect.
Tyler and I met in college. It was actually his last year and coming up to my last year.
A mutual friend of ours was going to Applebee's for a birthday party. Chrissy was friends with him and I was friends with him as well, and he invited me because he was going to be the only guy there, and I met her very briefly, but after that I kind of hounded her on Facebook to add me as a friend, and eventually she did, and I kind of initiated a few messages and we messaged back and forth, and then we had our first date, and the rest is kind of history.
Who made the first move? Tyler's gonna say it was him.
Oh, she knows who made the first move. I did.
It was me. He may have asked a friend for me to add him on Facebook, but after I added him, I was the one to give him my phone number because he was too chicken to ask.
Not only did I initiate conversation at Applebee's, not only did I initiate her being friends with me on Facebook, not only did I message her first on Facebook, not only did I ask her to come over for our first date, I also made the first move when it came to our first kiss, and I made the first move when it came to holding hands. If she says anything else, she is a liar, and she knows that she's lying.
So he may say he made the first move, but really, it was me. We were in Great Falls, Montana. He just got his job, or his first job out of college out in Great Falls.
It was Groundhog's Day, and it was just a holiday that I guess, you know, it'll be an easy day to remember, obviously.
He was bound and determined we needed to go for a walk along the river, and it was a cold, crappy day.
And it was a beautiful day in February, so I told her to, you know, put some pants and a sweatshirt on. We went for a walk, and it just seemed right because it was very spontaneous and it was in a beautiful setting.
And he stopped and looked at me and he said, "You know I love you, right? And I want to spend the rest of my life with you." And then he proceeded to get down on one knee and he asked me to marry him, and he cried and I giggled. So that's a big joke now. He cries all the time and I giggle.
And I cried and she laughed, but she said yes, so that's really all that matters, I suppose. Kristine, I give you this ring
Tyler, I give you this ring
as a sign of my love and faithfulness.
as a sign of my love and faithfulness. He tells me I'm beautiful every day, probably 1,000,000 times a day. Kisses all the time, always kiss goodnight.
And then she just gets so angry with me for being a putz. I'm kind of slow moving sometimes, but she's always just laughing it off. And she's always just so carefree and outgoing. She has to have everything planned. And that stuff turns out to be funny because I'm just more laid back and it works out well.
He's very loving, very caring, and I don't know what I'd do without him.